Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're diving deep into a seriously fascinating philosophy. We're exploring a profound, kind of mind-bending idea: why mastering your time is, at its absolute core, fundamentally about mastering yourself. Whether you're a billionaire running a massive company or a student just trying to pass finals, you are handed the exact same 24 hours every single day. The difference between mediocrity and greatness, it literally all comes down to how we steward that time. To break this down, we're going to climb what the source calls a pyramid of mastery. We'll be hitting 5 specific steps today: the divine gift of time, mastering yourself first, the power of priority, planning with purpose, and finally, defeating distractions. All right, let's jump right into step 1, the divine gift of time, and really understanding your 24 hours. To really get this, we have to start with a foundational mindset shift. You see, time is heaven's most democratic gift. It is handed out completely equally. It doesn't matter who you are or where you're from. You aren't given a 24-hour day, and you aren't shortchanged with 15. You get exactly what everyone else gets. But what's really intriguing here is the specific use of the word number instead of count. Looking at this prayer from Moses, the source highlights that numbering your days actually means assigning a sacred meaning and purpose to every single one of them. It's about treating those 24 hours not just as a ticking clock, but as a direct opportunity to move closer to your ultimate reason for being here. And that brings us to a massively important distinction. Are you spending your time, or are you investing it? This challenges us to realize that just spending time makes it vanish forever. It's gone. But investing it, putting that time into personal growth, learning, prayer, and intentional planning, that takes those hours and multiplies them into a massive harvest down the road. When you start treating time as a divine investment rather than just something you need to kill, well, your whole life begins to multiply in meaning. Let's keep climbing and move to step 2, mastering yourself first, which is the absolute foundation of discipline. Because listen, you absolutely cannot manage your time if you can't manage your own impulses first. It's just not going to happen. Self-mastery is the bedrock of this whole philosophy. Time itself, it's completely neutral. It just sits there and reveals your level of personal discipline. The Apostle Paul's words here are so powerful because they highlight that true discipline is not some kind of punishment. Actually, it's a vital protection for your destiny against things like laziness and inconsistency. Think of an athlete training in the dark before sunrise while everyone else is fast asleep. Is it fun? Probably not, but it is incredibly focused, and it protects your true purpose from being stolen by comfort. Think about it. Before your feet even hit the floor in the morning, you have to decide who is the boss. Is it your purpose, the thing that drives you to get up, work, and study? Or is it your feelings? That little voice telling you you're too tired, too stressed, or just uninspired today? Every single time you obey your feelings over your focus, you are literally surrendering control of your time. But every time you obey purpose, you get stronger. And that leads us to a pretty piercing question. If you can't manage a single hour wisely right now, why in the world should heaven trust you with more responsibility? What are you going to do with the time you still hold in your hands? We have to remember, the real enemy of progress was never a lack of time. It was always the mismanagement of ourselves. Moving right along, section 3 is the power of priority, finding clear direction for your discipline. Okay, so you've built up some self-mastery. That's awesome. But now we really need to add direction, because discipline without direction is just a recipe for total frustration. Imagine your life as an empty jar. If you fill it up with small stones first, the endless scrolling, mindless entertainment, the latest gossip, you are never, ever going to have room for the big stones. Things like true purpose, family, personal growth, and faith. But if you deliberately put those big stones in first, the small stuff can just naturally fit right in around them. Your order completely determines your outcome. I love this next contrast. It points out how most of us are absolute experts at reacting to loud, urgent demands. A phone notification pops up or an immediate crisis happens and boom, we're on it. But at the same time, we remain total amateurs at prioritizing the quiet, truly important disciplines. Things like reading, prayer, and personal growth. Urgent things scream for your attention, but important things, they whisper. You have to train your ear to catch those whispers. As we continue up the pyramid, we hit section 4. Planning with purpose and structuring your success. Because let's be real, priorities without an actual plan are basically just good intentions. Real success is a deliberate structure, not some magical mystery. Having a plan is the ultimate proof that you respect the time you've been given. Think about the creation story. Even God planned his work in a very specific, sequential order before he rested. That proves that divine order is the necessary atmosphere where purpose can actually thrive. A disorganized life is always going to sabotage your potential, because structure is the exact thing that allows your purpose to stand firm when the pressure is on. So how do we practically apply this? Well, creating a morning power hour routine. By spending just the very first hour of your day setting the tone of intention through prayer, reading, meditating, and clearly planning out your tasks, you secure your focus before the noisy demands of the world can even reach you. And finally, we've made it to the very top of the pyramid. Section 5, defeating distractions and fiercely guarding your destiny. Now that you have this disciplined, prioritized plan, you have got to defend it against the subtle, everyday enemy of distraction. The greatest thief of your potential isn't failure, guys. It's distraction. I love this example. When Nehemiah was building the wall, he didn't stop his crucial work for every single person trying to pull him away. He simply said he was doing a great work and couldn't come down. Treat that as a masterclass in focus. You do not have to respond to every single invitation or fight every battle that calls your name. Trust me, some invitations are just distractions in disguise. Distraction is a silent killer of destiny, so you have to proactively protect your attention. 3 powerful defensive strategies. Number 1, guard your environment. Distance yourself from influences that celebrate comfort way more than growth. Number 2, manage your energy, not just your time. Protect your prime high-energy hours for your big vision, not from mindlessly scrolling your phone. And number 3, use silence and solitude as your secret weapons to find and keep your clarity. Just picture this stark contrast for a second. Imagine 2 people. They both have the exact same 24 hours. Honestly, they could even be sitting in the exact same room. But one of them is designing their destiny, learning, growing, and building. The other is just drifting through digital noise, scrolling endlessly without a second thought. Same exact hours, but vastly different outcomes, entirely because of the choices they made. It really all boils down to this perfectly captured idea from the source. Time is the currency of your destiny. Think about it like cash. Once this currency is spent, there are no refunds. It cannot be recycled, and it definitely cannot be replaced. That makes wasted time literally one of the most dangerous habits on Earth, because it quietly steals the opportunities that were meant for your future. I want to leave you with this incredibly provocative thought. You don't drift into destiny, you design it. Nobody wakes up one day and accidentally becomes great. It takes intention. So I have to ask you, are you intentionally designing your destiny today by mastering yourself and your priorities? Or are you just hoping to accidentally drift into greatness? Make every single hour count.